Okay, welcome back to Biotech. We are going to see one more important topic from the respiration, that is respiration versus combustion. Respiration versus combustion. First, let us try to understand what is respiration and what is combustion. See, respiration is one of the process which can produce the energy, whereas combustion is also a type of process which can produce the energy. Both the processes, energy releases. These both the processes can occur in the presence of oxygen. Respiration occurs in the presence of oxygen, whereas combustion also occurs in the presence of oxygen. Whereas respiration occurs in the living cells, but combustion occurs out of the cells, or combustion occurs in the atmosphere. Suppose if you want to understand the combustion, suppose first see what is combustion. Combustion is nothing but, suppose a burning paper. Burning a paper, it is a combustion process. Suppose a burning the mastic, it is a combustion process. So this is what it occurs outside of the cells, or it occurs outside of the body, or if it takes place outside of the body, it is called combustion. So combustion అంటే ఇండైరెక్ట్ ఏంటంటే, కంబ్యూషన్ అనేది ఏదైనా ఒకదాన్ని మండిస్తే, ఒకవేళ బొగ్గును మండించడం కానీ, పేపర్ను మండించడం కానీ, ఒక అగ్గిపుల్లను గీకి మండించడం కానీ, ఇలాంటి దాన్ని కంబ్యూషన్ అంటాం. ఈవెన్ కంబ్యూషన్ ఆల్సో టేక్స్ ప్లేస్ ఇన్ ద ప్రెజెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆక్సిజన్, బట్ కంబ్యూషన్ టేక్స్ ప్లేస్ అవుట్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ ద బాడీ ఆర్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ ది సెల్స్. But respiration takes place, especially respiration, it is occurring, or respiration occurs inside the cells. Respiration takes place inside the cells. The common thing here we should remember, respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas even combustion also takes place in the presence of oxygen. ఏదైనా ఒకటి బర్నింగ్ చేయాలంటే, ఏదైనా ఒకటి మండాలంటే ఖచ్చితంగా ఆక్సిజన్ అనేది అవసరం. అదేవిధంగా రెస్పిరేషన్లో మన బాడీలో ఎనర్జీ రిలీజ్ అవ్వాలన్నా కూడా, even to release the energy in our body, compulsory oxygen is needed. So that respiration and combustion both takes place in the presence of oxygen. So according to the Lavoisier, what he says, respiration is a type of combustion. Respiration is a type of combustion. So what he says, Lavoisier, respiration is also a type of combustion, okay, but it takes place slowly. This is the most important thing to be remembered regarding what the Lavoisier said about respiration. So respiration is also a type of combustion. That means in the human body cells or in the living cells, the glucose or sugars are burning in the presence of oxygen and producing the energy. So the major intention of the respiration is to produce the energy, so that these glucose molecules are being burnt in the cells in the presence of oxygen and produce the energy, but this process takes place very slowly. So this is the statement which was given by the Lavoisier. According to the Lavoisier, respiration is a type of combustion. It takes place slowly. And in respiration, see what happens here in the respiration process. See this, in the respiration process oxygen is involving. So in this process the oxygen is not only associated with the carbon but also associated with the water. So here the oxygen is associated with the carbon. Suppose carbon plus oxygen, that forms as carbon dioxide, whereas H plus O2 gives rise to H2O. So in this process what can we understand? In the respiration, the carbon dioxide plus water is producing. In combustion, same, the carbon dioxide and water is produced, whereas in respiration is also the carbon dioxide and water is produced. So in this process we can understand the oxygen is associated not only with the carbon but also with hydrogen. So like that, carbon plus oxygen forms as carbon dioxide, whereas hydrogen plus oxygen forms as water. So if the carbon dioxide and water is formed from the respiration, that shows about the energy is released. So in this way we can understand Whenever the energy releases from the living cells, compulsory the carbon dioxide and water is produced. Suppose example in human cells, in the respiration, see continuously the cellular respiration takes place in our body. That's why from our nostrils carbon dioxide is continuously produced out. Suppose if we observe the carbon dioxide character, it is warmer in nature. See, the carbon dioxide is warmer in nature, so that continuously the cellular respiration takes place in our body. That's why carbon dioxide is produced. Besides the carbon dioxide, and also there is water is formed, that water is also produced. So in this way, in the respiration and carbon dioxide, so in the respiration and combustion, carbon dioxide and water is produced. So in this way, the Lavoisier said respiration is a type of combustion process. It takes place slowly. In this process, oxygen is not only associated with the carbon but also associated with the water and forms as carbon dioxide and water. So in this way, the energy is produced. And one more, Robinson also said Robinson also said respiration is a type of combustion process. He also said the same thing. Respiration is a type of combustion process, but in this combustion process, one of the most important thing to be remembered that this combustion is the source of production of heat. Combustion is the source of production of heat in the living organism. See, combustion is the source of production of heat. See, when the respiration continuously occurs in our body, so this respiration is a type of combustion process. In this process, our body can maintain the proper temperature, a normal body temperature, that is 98.4 Fahrenheit. So constantly if our body maintaining the temperature that is 98.4 Fahrenheit because of the respiration. So that's why Robinson also said respiration is also a type of combustion process. In this combustion process is the source of heat. This is the most important thing. The heat. Respiration is the source of heat. We should remember. And let us see the common points of the respiration and combustion. Let us see, respiration is occurs in the living cells, whereas combustion occurs in the non-living cells or outside of the body. But the respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, whereas combustion also takes place in the presence of oxygen. In the respiration, the carbon dioxide and water is formed, whereas in combustion also the carbon dioxide water is formed. So in respiration, the energy produced, even in the combustion is also energy produced. Then let us see the differences in between the respiration and combustion. Let us see differences in between the respiration and combustion. One side we shall write the respiration and another side we shall write combustion. See what is respiration and what is combustion. Just now what we discussed, respiration occurs in all the living cells. Okay, respiration occurs in all the living cells. In living cells the respiration takes place, whereas combustion means just now what I said about combustion, the burning paper is a combustion process, or burning mastic is a combustion process. So it occurs outside of the cell, or it occurs in atmosphere. Combustion. See, generally in respiration it occurs in the presence of oxygen, whereas in combustion also it occurs in the presence of oxygen. But one thing is to be remembered, that is, to start the combustion, here compulsory, we need to apply some heat. We need to apply some heat, or fire should be applied. To start the combustion process, something fire or heat should be applied for the combustion. But in the respiration, no need to supply any heat or fire for the respiration. The body already it has some normal body temperature. With that normal body temperature, the respiration process is going on. So no need to supply any heat or fire for the respiration, because the living cells continuously participate in the cellular respiration. They maintain some warmer or some temperature. In that temperature, respiration is going on continuously. But the combustion is not like that. To start the combustion process, we need to supply some heat or fire. So the fire or heat should be supplied for the starting material of combustion, for start the combustion process. And respiration occur here, respiration occur in limited temperature. Respiration occur in limited temperature. That means what? 98.4 Fahrenheit. The respiration takes place at 98.4 Fahrenheit, but combustion occurs at higher temperature or unlimited temperature. Continuously, we can supply the heat or fire for the combustion process so that it burns continuously. So unlimited temperature or higher temperature is needed for the combustion process, whereas limited temperature is needed in the respiration, that is our body temperature. Suppose if they are human beings, 98.4 Fahrenheit. And next thing is one more important thing, the respiration, it takes place in regular interval. Respiration takes place in regular intervals. So but combustion, once the combustion is started, it never stops. Once combustion starts, it never stops. See, combustion, once the burning of paper or the burning of mastic, once if it is started, it never stops. So like that, once the combustion is started, it never stops. But the respiration we can regulate. It is a regulated process. It is a non-regulated process, combustion. Then in respiration, energy released in a regular interval of time. So that energy released in the respiration in a regular interval of time, so that it is a continuous process. So energy released in a regular interval of time, so that is in respiration takes place. But combustion, all the energy released at a time, so these are the most important differences in between the respiration and combustion. Suppose if you ask the question, write the differences between the respiration and combustion. So respiration, it occurs in the living cells. Combustion occurs outside of the cells or in the atmosphere. The respiration occurs in a limited temperature, that is in the living body temperature 98.4 Fahrenheit. But the combustion takes place at unlimited temperature, that is higher temperature. Whereas it occurs in a regular interval of time, so that we can control the respiration process. But the combustion, once if it is started, it never be stopped. Continuously it goes on. The energy released at a time, energy released in the respiration process, in a regulated process, but in all the energy released at once, so that in combustion. Then in respiration, carbon dioxide, water and energy releases, whereas in combustion also carbon dioxide, water and energy releases. Then let us see one important experiment, how the energy released or how carbon dioxide and heat is liberated through the respiration or combustion process. With a small experiment we can explain. Here there is a stand. Okay, for this stand here, right, okay, here there is a test tube. That the test tube is taken here. In the test tube here I have taken some sugar molecules or sugar crystals are taken. These are the sugar crystals. So these sugar crystals are heated with the help of spirit lamp. So this is the spirit lamp. Okay, the spirit lamp can supply the heat. Then this what test tube is connected with a delivery tube. This delivery tube is entering into the another beaker which consists of lime water. So this consists of lime water. So to prove that respiration and combustion process which can produce the carbon dioxide and heat, in the respiration process or in combustion process, the carbon dioxide and heat is liberated. To prove that we are going to do this experiment, for this we need to take a stand. Okay, that stand, to the stand one test tube is fixed. This test tube should be connected with a delivery tube. One end of the delivery tube in the test tube, then other end of the delivery tube should be in the beaker which consists of the lime water. Then In the test tube already we have taken some sugar crystals. These sugar crystals are being heated with the help of the spirit lamp. When the spirit lamp is supplying the heat, because of this heat, what happens? These sugar crystals are first melts. The melting sugar crystals can be converted into liquid. This liquid, if it is continuously being heated with the help of the spirit lamp, what happens? The liquid will be turned into black color. Suppose if continuously, again if it is continuously heated, then what happens? This liquid sugar, it will be produced with a blue color flames and with producing the energy. So in this way the changes we can observe. That is what first sugar crystals. Sugar crystals are melted. First sugar crystals are melted. What happens when the sugar crystals are heated with the help of the what spirit lamp? Suppose in the combustion process, this is combustion process, just you can understand this is a combustion process. In the combustion process, when the sugar crystals are heated, the sugar crystals are first they are in the form of solid, but when they are heated with the help of the spirit lamp, these sugar crystals are they are melted, so that solid sugar crystals are melted into liquid. The solid sugar crystals are melted into liquid. So here is the solid. The solid sugar crystals are melted into what? Liquid. So the state of the material is changed, and continuously if this liquid is heated with the help of spirit lamp, again this liquid changes into black color. And if it is being continuously heated, this black color liquid in the test tube or boiling tube, this black color liquid, again if it is being heated continuously, what happens? It produces the blue color flames, which produces the blue color flames with some energy. అంటే టాప్ అని అలా బ్లూ కలర్ ఫ్లేమ్స్ తోని కొంత ఎనర్జీ రిలీజ్ అవుతుంది. ఇలా ఎనర్జీ రిలీజ్ అవ్వడం అనేది ఎట్ ఏ టైం జరిగే ప్రాసెస్. సో ఆల్ ద షుగర్ క్రిస్టల్స్ కెన్ ప్రొడ్యూస్ ద ఎనర్జీ ఎట్ ఏ టైం, that producing with carbon dioxide and water. So when the carbon dioxide and water is produced, when the energy releases, carbon dioxide and water is produced. This carbon dioxide is travels through the delivery tube and comes into the here what? Lime water. This is the lime water. So this lime water which changes into milky white precipitate. Whenever the carbon dioxide gas enters into the lime water, this lime water which changes into milky white precipitate. So with this we can understand only the carbon dioxide gas which has the ability to convert the lime water into milky white precipitate. So in this reaction we can understand in the combustion process of sugar crystals, the carbon dioxide and water vapor is produced. That carbon dioxide has been traveled through the delivery tube. When carbon dioxide enters into the lime water, that lime water is changed into milky white precipitate. So with this we can understand carbon dioxide has the ability to convert the lime water into milky white precipitate. So with this we can understand combustion, it can produce the energy. In the combustion process, the carbon dioxide and water is produced. So this is about the combustion. So very easy combustion process. For the proving combustion process, here we have taken the boiling tube or test tube. This boiling tube should be fixed to the stand, and in the boiling tube here already we have taken some sugar crystals, and in the boiling tube again we have taken with a one hole rubber stopper. Through one hole rubber stopper we have arranged the delivery tube. One end of the delivery tube in the boiling tube and other end of the delivery tube is in the where a beaker which consists of the lime water. So in this manner the arrangement should be made. After arranging this everything, so with the help of the spirit lamp, if we boil the sugar crystals in the boiling tube, what happens? The sugar crystals first they melted, so that solid sugar crystals will be converted into liquid. This liquid again if it is being heated continuously, it turns into black color. If continuously we are supply the heat, this black color solution liquid it produces with the blue color flames with producing the energy. So that energy produced in the boiling tube. When the energy produces, here carbon dioxide and water is produced. This carbon dioxide travel through the delivery tube and enters into the lime water. This lime water, whenever it receives the carbon dioxide, it will turn into milky white precipitate. With this we can understand the combustion process can produce the carbon dioxide and water. So this is about the combustion process. Generally combustion process occurs in the outside of the cells, or combustion process takes place outside of the cells or in the atmosphere. So this is about the major difference between the similarities between the respiration and combustion, differences between the respiration and combustion, and importance of combustion.